Well, episode 13 of True Sports is on the air. Um, I'm Taylor. He's Lewis. Um, what is going on with the Yankees? Aaron Boone has to be frustrated. They've lost 14 of their last 17 games. They lose another one to the Blue Jays today.
Actually, it's now 15 of 19.
15 of
And
19. Oh,
yeah, you can say that again. Everybody's feeling frustrated. Aaron Boone, even the players even getting booed right out of the stadium. And it's getting very ugly. Their lead is cut in half. It's down to 7 games now, and the wheelbarrows are just coming right off. I mean, ever since the trade deadline, they have been playing like, well, I'll put it this way, like crap. And it's gotten every time. Now New York is a very tough town in the sports world. When they do well, they're gonna praise him, but when they start to do horrible, oh boy, they're gonna boo the shit right out of you. And the fans are complaining. I'm sure fans are calling every radio sports radio station in New York saying how bad the Yankees have been lately. It has been a complete shit fest, and it looks like it's getting worse. The only bright spot in the last 2 weeks was the come from behind win on Tuesday with the Grand Slam win. Other than that, it has been horrible. August has been the worst month in decades for the Yankees.
yeah.
Ugh,
No doubt. Yeah, no doubt about it.
say
Let me
that
look at
again.
this. Yeah, and Lewis will take a look at the standings in our True Sports report here in a moment. But the Lions, they just
Ah,
barely hang. They just barely hung on to win 27-26 over the Indianapolis Colts at Lucas Oil Stadium in preseason week 2. And that's the Lions' first preseason win in 4 years. First
oh.
preseason win since 2018 that I read. I like, what the fuck?
Hey, maybe they're onto something. You get a preseason win after 4 years. Maybe your luck may be turning. Maybe.
Right.
Wishful thinking.
Yeah. So that, that was a that was a Pirates player that was suspended 1 game for
Mm.
using a cell phone.
Oh boy.
Yeah. That was earlier this past week.
I think I
This
heard
now
that.
past week. Yeah. The past few days. A few days ago. Yeah. Can't do that. So yeah. Yeah, apologies for this. I was texting Joseph, but anyway, it's time. Let's get our True Sports report with you out of the way.
All
Let's
right.
do it.
Well, as I just mentioned before, the Yankees have been playing a complete crap fest over the last now 3 to 4 weeks, and Aaron Boone, add out, add out his frustrations and even pounded the table where his microphone was at in
I
complete
saw it.
disgust. Yeah,
The
saying
post
they
game
got,
press conference.
which was the night before, and it carried over into today as again they lost again. So I'll continue more on that in just a moment. Right now, I have the scores all posted up, and away we go. If you like pitchers' duels, then you'll like this game, as the White Sox and the Guardians are tied at Zippo in the bottom of the fourth. No one on and one out. Kuto is pitching, and Naylor is at bat. Top of the ninth, Reds are beating the Pirates 5-1. Stout is pitching, and India is at bat. Two losers right there. Top eight, Rangers versus over the Twins, leading the Twins 2-1. Smeltzer is pitching, and Mathis is at bat. Top nine, Astros and Braves are in a 1-1 tie. Minter is pitching, and Tucker is at bat. No one on, no one out. Ooh, okay, Mets fans are going to hate this. As the Phillies take over the lead against the Mets 3-1 in the top of the eighth. One out, nobody on. Robertson is pitching, and Nemo is at bat. I know a lot of Mets fans not going to be happy. Top 9, Mariners and Astros tied at 3, one out, nobody on. Jamirez is pitching in, and Santana is at bat. Going into the bottom of the ninth, the Giants and the Rockies tie at 2. Right here. Joe Sirby and Bernard are at bat. In the top of the sixth, Cardinals and D-backs tie at 4. Runner on first, nobody out. Baumgartner is pitching, and DeJong is at bat. Bottom of the fourth, the Nationals lead the Padres 1-0, one out, nobody on. Gray is pitching, and Nova is at bat. Bottom of the third. Okay, this might be over early, guys. Maybe. As the Dodgers are beating up on the Marlins 7-0. One out, nobody on. Honing is pitching in. Muncy is at bat. Oh, look out. Muncy's coming to bat. Finals. Blue Jays over the Yankees 5-2. I'm sickened. Kilmer is the winner. Cole is the loss, and Garcia got the save. I'm sickened by it. In the first game of that doubleheader, actually, the Mets beat up on the Phillies 8-2. Lugo got the win, and Wheeler got the loss. Your Tigers over the Angels 4-3. Alexander got the win. Demers got the loss, and Sato got the save. Okay.
Gregory Soto.
Gregory Soto.
13th.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cubs over the Brewers 6-5 in 11 innings.
23 saves by Soto. Holy shit.
What? That's a lot for the year.
23. I just read it.
Pretty good. Cubs over the Brewers 6-5 in 11 innings. Demon got the win, and Suzuki got the loss. Red Sox over the Orioles 4-3. Well, okay, Red Sox. Walker got the win. Bradish got the loss, and Whitlock got the save. Or I could say Whitless for all I care. Oh, okay. And the Rays over the Royals 5-2. Rasmus got the win. Bubble got the loss, and Fairbanks got the save. All right, so we'll go to the standings. If you like close races, people, in baseball, well, then you've come to the right place. I mean, a few weeks ago, the Yankees look like they're just going to topple everybody in the league, and go be 20 games ahead of everybody. But now it looks to be a different story as we head into September. This kind of reminds me of the Mets, back in 2007. They had a 7-game lead going into the last week of the season. Now, keep in mind, this was before this new playoff format, came into play. But they were 7 games up. All they had to do was win one win that whole week. One measly win. What happened? They lost every game and lost their shot at the playoffs. You want to talk about the ultimate choke status? Oh boy. That was probably the biggest choke since 1978. All right, so away we go. The standings go like this. The Yankees are still in front at 73-48, but it's a 7-game lead now over the Blue Jays at 65-54. Right on their tail, the Rays at 64-55, 8 back. I think I'm going to be sick. Orioles, not bad, 62-58 at 10.5 back. And just a bit on the outside, the Red Sox at 60-61, 13 back. I'm sorry for that Bob Uecker impersonation. Okay. All right. Moving to the Central. The Guardians, 64-55. But look out, the Twins are only a game behind at 62-55. The White Sox, not bad either, 3.5 back at 61-59. I think I've watched this Central Division race very closely in the next few weeks. Royals, 49-73 at 16.5. And, well, I hate to say it, but the Tigers are dead last, at 46 and 76, 19 halfback. I'm sorry, Tiger fans. I wish I had better news. To the West, the Astros, 77 and 44, have a 10.5 game lead over the Mariners at 68 and 54. The Rangers, 53 and 66, 23 back. Angels, 52 and 68, 24 and a half back. And the A's are still the A's, 33 and a half back at 43 and 77. All right, to the National League. The Mets, 78 and 43, pending outcome of this game. Look out, though. The Braves, 74 and 47, only 4 back. Not insurmountable, even at this time of year. Phillies, got some work to do. 65 and 54, 12 back. Marlins, 52 and 67, 25 back. And the Nationals, dead last, 41 and 80, 37 back. Wow, they're going to hit 81 losses before September gets here. Oh, boy. To the Central, Cardinals, 67 and 51, 4.5 games ahead of the Brewers, 63 and 56. The Cubs, 52 and 67, 15 and a half back. Yeah. Pirates, 47 and 72, 20 back. Also 20 and a half back. Also at 20 and a half back are the Reds at 46 and 71. To the West, I think we can say the Dodgers are going to have this all wrapped up. 82 and 36, have an 18 game lead over the Padres at 66 and 56. There's no way they're going to catch up. Giants, 59 and 60, 23 and a half back. The D-backs, 55 and 64, 27 and a half back. And the Rockies, 52 and 69, 31 and a half back. I really thought that the West was going to be a better race this year between those 3 teams. But the Dodgers, even despite the fact with injuries like the Kershaw and whatnot, which I thought would make it a lot closer, but the Dodgers just find new ways to win. Well, then again, of course, you got Muncy, so, and he's doing the damage. But the Dodgers, Dodgers look to run away with the National League West, and I don't know about the Mets taking. I don't know about the Mets taking the pen. I think the Dodgers are going to have something to say about that. So I wouldn't start celebrating, a World Series birth yet, people. I got a lot of Mets. I know a lot of Mets fans, but I know they've been waiting. But the Dodgers just seem to overpower everybody in the National League. And of course, my mother was a Dodgers fan, but that was back when they were the Brooklyn Dodgers. All right. So, okay, and here we go with tomorrow's skit. We just had it. Tomorrow's schedule, and of course, okay. And it goes like this. The White Sox will take on the Guardians at 12:05. The Reds will take on the Pirates at 1:35. Also 1:35 will be the Astros versus the Braves. The Mets will take on the Phillies, and the Blue Jays will take on the Yankees. 1:40, the Dodgers take on, the Angels take on the Tigers. Oh, well. And the Royals will take on the Rays. 2:10, Rangers take on the Twins. Also 2:10, the Brewers take on the Cubs. 3:10, the Giants take on the Rockies. 4:07 will be the Mariners and the A's. 4:10, 3 games will be the Cardinals versus the D-backs. 4:10 will be Marlins and the Dodgers. The Cardinals versus the D-backs. The Nationals take on the Padres. And at 7 o'clock, your ESPN game will be the Red Sox and the Orioles. Go figure that one. So we'll turn our attention now to NFL preseason. And it'll go like this. Kind of think of it, and Dallas is playing right now. The game was just getting underway. And it's still 3-1, bottom of the eighth for the Philadelphia Phillies. Okay. Yeah. But I hate to say I told you so if the Mets don't win. Okay. So our schedule for the goes like this. In NFL preseason action today, the Bills just beat up on the Broncos 42-15. Your Lions just barely beat the Colts 27-26. As we just said, it's their first win in 4 years in the preseason. Chiefs over Washington 24-14. The Titans over the Bucks 13-3. Raiders hold off to beat the Dolphins 15-13. The 49ers over the Vikings 17-7, and the Steelers just edged the Jaguars 16-15. All right, for tomorrow's games, we have the Eagles versus the Browns, the Bengals versus the Giants, and the Ravens taking on the Cardinals. Good luck with that one, bub. All right, so now we'll get to our headlines of the day. Here's one here. Just let me clear this off. Okay. And it goes like this. Well, I don't know if anybody's into golf, but I'll give you this because the BMW Championships are being held right now, and Will Zalatoris has been out with a back injury. Okay, that's not good. He shot 139 over the first 2 rounds and ended the 3rd round 5 strokes back of leader Adam Scott. He got as close as 4 strokes back when his back started to give out, which is always a bad sign. He gingerly walked down the fairway to finish the hole. However, attempts to stretch himself out prior to the 5th hole did not go as well as planned, obviously, and unfortunately has withdrawn from the tournament. Zalatoris is coming off his win last week at the St. Jude's Championship in sudden death. The PGA season ends next week with the Tour Championship, and Zalatoris is expected to compete as it comes down to the 30 best golfers to make this tournament, which carries a top prize of, well, on the has votes, $18 million. A documentary on the 2008 men's U.S. Olympic basketball team, known as the Redeem Team, with LeBron James and Dwayne Wade both producing, will debut in October on Netflix. The documentary will debut on October 7th. The streaming service announced it yesterday. The film is the first collaboration with the International Olympic Committee, or the IOC, with behind-the-scenes footage with interviews from players and Coach Mike Krzyzewski. The documentary follows the team's quest for gold in Beijing after a disappointing result in the Athens finish in 2004 after just settling for a bronze medal. For you ice hockey fans, Canada is facing Finland in the World Junior Championships tonight. Canada defeated Sweden last night in the second semifinal game. For Finland, Kasper Punto scored on a power play in the second period. Juha Jarkko stopped 23 shots, while Jasper Wattfeldt stopped 27 shots for Sweden. Oof. And by the way, of course, that was postponed from earlier this year when it was stopped by the coronavirus outbreak. Just no, I'm not. All right, now for the disturbing story of the day. Kobe Bryant's widow, Vanessa, testified yesterday that she was only starting to grieve the loss of her husband and daughter when she was faced with the horror of learning the sheriff's department and fire department had shot and saved and shared photos of their bodies at the side of the crash that killed them. Disgusting. Mrs. Bryant said she wanted to run down the block and scream. She said her tears turned to sobs and her voice quickening. It was like running into a pier and wanting to jump in the water. The problem is I can't escape. I can't escape my body. During the 3 hours on the witness stand in LA federal court where she is suing LA County for invasion of privacy over the pictures, Bryant said she had fought through public and private memorials for her loved ones and the 7 other passengers that were killed on the morning of January 26, 2020, and thought she was ready to begin the grief process a month later. She was with friends, her surviving daughters, and holding her 7-month old daughter when she received a call from a Los Angeles Times story on the crash site photos. Evidence showed at the trial showed a deputy show photos of Bryant's body to a bartender while he was drinking, spurring an official complaint from another man who was drinking nearby, and that the firefighters shared the photos at an awards banquet. Oh, rather. Others shared them with spouses, and an attorney for the county said the photos had only been taken because they were essential for assessing the site almost after the crash. When LA County Sheriff Alex Villanueva learned that what was being shared, he demanded all photos be deleted. Mrs. Bryant said she lives in fear every day of being on social media and these popping up as she testified. She also lives in fear for her daughters on social media as well. What a jerk. You don't do that. I mean, come on. You're supposed to be, law-abiding officers and whatnot and officials, and this is what you do? Stupid. The Big Ten completes a 7-year deal worth $7 billion. It's a media rights deal with CBS, NBC, and Fox to televise the games. The deal begins on July 1st of next year and runs through the 29-30 athletic year. I'll be an old man by then. Details were not disclosed, but a windfall would not happen overnight. The CBS payout in year one is lower because CBS will still carry SEC games and will only air about 7 Big Ten games that season. But the Big Ten distribution in year two will turn up as former Pac-12 members USC and UCLA join the conference, which doesn't make a lot of sense at all. Revenues will skyrocket in year three. All 3 networks will carry the Big Ten championship game. Fox will be the main broadcast partner since their partnership began in 2011 and will broadcast the games in the odd years of 2023, 25, 27, and 29, and this year as well. CBS will carry the games in 2024 and 2028. NBC only in 2026. Fox will get the early afternoon game. CBS gets the 3:30 game starting in 2024, and NBC gets the primetime game. Oh boy! And yet they only got to get 1 championship game. You call that a fair deal? I don't think so. Montreal GM said that news of goaltender Carey Price was discouraging and might not play this season. Speaking yesterday, acquiring forward Sean Monahan from the Flames, Hughes said was not looking for Price to return the season without surgery and rehab, which doesn't look to be enough. So in this case, the price is not right. Oh. Okay, scratch that from the record, please. Ugh. But of course, you get the idea here. All right, moving on. Nazem Kadri signed a 7-year deal with the Flames. Sources tell ESPN as a free agent center ended weeks of speculation about where his next destination would be. To make room for Kadri, the Flames are working on a trade to send Sean Monahan, which they have. He is now going to Montreal. On that. And of course, the season is, the preseason is about, I think, 3 weeks away now. Boy, it's coming up fast. That's according to reports. I wish these people would stop doing that. Kadri has 87 points in 71 games for the Avalanche last season. He has 512 points in 739 games, now entering his 13th season. He had the last 10 with the Leafs. So congratulations on that. Yeah. Now, one of my cohorts is going to be a grandfather. Well, congratulations. Yeah. Well, it's at least it's good news, of course. All right. So continuing on with other news of the day, as we mentioned, the Yankees manager Aaron Boone showed frustration after last night's loss at the post-game interview, and today he took it to a step further. He says we need to play better, simple as that, and then slammed his at the table where the mic was. He pounded the table, and that's what the mic was. The Yankees now lost 6 straight series for the first time since 1995, and now have lost 15 of the last 19 games, and their lead has been now cut to 7 games, as I mentioned. Bears linebacker Raquan Smith ended his holdout today and was on the field in practice for the first time in camp. Smith said he plans to play the final year of his rookie deal, where he is set to earn $9.7 million on his fifth-year option. The negotiation period is now finally history, so Bears fans can breathe a sigh of relief. Smith demanded a trade on August 9th in a written statement after accusing the Bears of not negotiating in good faith after reporting on time to camp. Smith was then placed on the PUP list, the unable to perform list, that is. Smith was not fined for the practices he missed after being removed from the list. Upon passing a physical, coming 2 days after his trade request, I made that 1 day after his trade request. Boy, that's not a lot of time. 1 day. All right, Panthers quarterback Matt Corral will likely miss the entire season in what Coach Matt Rule called a significant ligament tear. Oh boy. Corral suffered a left foot injury in last night's preseason game against the Patriots, or as I call them. In terms of the quarterback situation between Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold, Ruse said he was not ready to name a starter, though his sources say it's Mayfield's job to lose. Between Mayfield and Darnold, I think I take my chances with Mayfield, because Darnold only sees ghosts. Oh. And he's a bum anyway. And I mean a bum. All right. Mets pitcher Taijuan Walker has been scratched for tomorrow's game against the Phillies due to a herniated disc in his back, said by manager Buck Showalter, announced today, a.k.a. Uncle Buck. A replacement has yet to be named for tomorrow's game, unless something else has come through already that I don't know about. Walker has a 10-3 record right now with an ERA of 3.36, but only lasted 2+ innings in their loss on Tuesday as he left with spasms. He was wincing after running to cover first base on a ground ball and said that his back started to tighten up after the game. Showalter said he could be able to return as they play a 2-game series versus their crosstown rival Yankees starting on Tuesday. Ooh, that's going to be fun. I know what I'll be watching. The Mets now have at the time of this report, the Mets had a 3.5 game series lead over the Braves. That might be back down to 3.5 by the time the night is over, because they won the first game, but they are losing the second game. Yeah, last check. I'll tell you one thing, though. Down the stretch, it's going to be very interesting on both sides of the New York area. Okay. Former Major League pitcher Bill Lee, who pitched for the Red Sox and Expos, collapsed while warming up in the bullpen for an exhibition game last night. Yeah, I get this. He's 75 years old and he was in an exhibition game. Get serious. He was warming in the bullpen exhibition game for last night for a team called, and I swear I did not make this up, it's called the Savannah Bananas. I did not make that up, people. I did not make that up. Lee, who is 75, was able to walk under his own power, so that's the good news right there. He was able to leave the stadium with medical attention and then was taken to a nearby hospital, said by team president Jared Orton, who told the Associated Press via an email. Lee is a member of the Red Sox Hall of Fame and was in right field when the incident occurred. The game stopped and resumed after Lee had left the field. Lee, who pitched for the Bananas, is a popular minor league team known for their bright uh, bright uniforms and goofy antics off the field, kind of like the Harlem Globetrotters. Lee had a record of 115 and 90 record and made the All-Star team in 1973 and pitched in Game 7 of the 75 World Series, which they lost to the Reds. Gee, if only that ball would have stayed fair like in Game 6. Stay fair. Stay fair. Yeah. Some of you might be too young to remember that. Mike Trout returned to the Angels lineup last night after missing 30 games after injuries to his upper back and rib cage, and went 1 for 4 in their win over the Tigers. Trout had not played since July 12th, and his return comes with only 7 weeks left in another losing season with the Angels, who are at 52 and 67, and have not made the postseason now in 8 years, have been taken out of the postseason picture again this summer, despite one time they were in first place in the NL West, AL West, that is. But that quickly vanished. To make room for Trout, the Angels opt outfielder Steven Duger to AAA Salt Lake. Shohei Ohtani was 0 for 3 with a walk. Patrick Sandoval pitched a 4-hitter for his first career shutout, and was enough to give the Angels the win. Astro slugger Yonder Alvarez was feeling ill on the field and left last night's game against the Braves abruptly and was transported to a local hospital. Speaking with his teammates after the loss, Astros manager Dusty Baker said Alvarez suffered shortness of breath, which was made worse by smoke in the air after the Braves shot off fireworks at Truist Park. Well, maybe that wasn't such a good idea. He was looked at by team doctors. Good news is that all vital signs are good. He was feeling normal, but still needed to be checked by the doctors. After the game, under his own power, with 2 outs at the bottom of the 5th, he left. There was a break in the action when Braves rookie Vaughn Grissom fouled the ball off his right foot. That's when he was attended by the athletic trainer. That's when Alvarez made a break for the dugout. He's batting .295 with 31 home runs and 77 RBIs this season. Baker said no one in the Astros dugout knew that Alvarez was feeling sick. We did not see anything, Baker said. I just looked up at the dugout and he was there. After that, we took emergency action to find out what was wrong. Then the emergency crews came and took him to the hospital. Chris McCormick took over Alvarez's position, and Mariano Dubin took over at center. Oof. Still, it's pretty scary. Yeah, I don't think the fireworks display was, really necessary. For one thing, it's past 4th of July. All right, continuing on. The Texas Longhorns, that's college football, named Quinn Ewers as their new starting quarterback. Ewers is a transfer from the Ohio State. Ewers, who is from Texas, had been competing for the starting quarterback job with Hudson Card, who started last season as a starter, but mostly behind Casey Thompson. The Longhorns open against Louisiana Monroe on September 3rd, and then take on Alabama at home on the 10th. This could be but that game might be pretty interesting. Fernando Tatis Jr. has yet to address his teammates in the wake of the 80-game suspension after the use of PEDs, but a teammate and his close friend Jerkson Profar had spoken to him back on Thursday. He is really bad about the whole thing, he said. 6 days earlier, when the Padres were in D.C., MLB announced that he tested positive for a steroid known as cluster ball and was suspended 80 games because that is a banned substance by the league. And as you've heard me say it before, if you know it's banned by the league, why would you even bother taking it? So it's for a season that really never began. Tatis was in the final stages of recovery as he injured his wrist in a motorcycle accident. Now he's in the process of rebuilding relationships. The task began a few days ago after meeting with general manager AJ Perro, a source with knowledge of the situation. Over the weekend, Tatis is expected to meet with Padres chairman Peter Selder, who signed off on his 14-year deal worth $340 million. Chances are, I don't think he's going to make it live out the full deal. All right. And I think I found my idiot of the week as Braves outfielder Marcel Uzana was arrested yesterday morning on a DUI charge, according to Gwinnett County Jail records. He was arrested by police and booked in the Gwinnett County Jail at 4:30 a.m. and was charged with an unsafe lane charge. Ugh. He was released on $1,830 bail 4 hours later. Uzana is in the second year of his 4-year, $65 million deal with the Braves, has not played since Sunday, as the former All-Star selection has been reduced to the DH role at left field. He is batting .214 with 20 home runs this season. Well, 20 home runs isn't bad. And this is not the first time he's been in trouble either. He was arrested in May of last year on charges of aggravated assault by strangulating and battery after police officers say they saw him attack his wife. Okay. He was placed on administrative leave during the league's investigation and missed the Braves World Series championship run last fall. He was allowed to return to the Braves this season as he apologized to his teammates and fans in May and said, "I will give you my best and to be a better person." In order for the charge to be dropped, Osana was required to serve a 6-month probation and complete a family violence intervention program and serve at least 200 hours of community service. Will he live up to that? Well, that's another story. Okay, we have a very tragic story here to mention here, and if you follow college football, I'm sure you're aware of this. Florida International football player Luke Knox passed away at the age of 22. The school made the announcement back on Thursday. Luke is the younger brother of Bills tight end Dawson Knox. Luke spent 4 years at Ole Miss before transferring to FIU. Knox, who was studied business, passed away on Thursday night. The school officials said the cause was not revealed and ruled out any sort of foul play involved. Still, nevertheless, to lose somebody like that, just like that, and so young too, with so much potential, and gone just like that, just sad. Okay, down to the comic tragedy stories right here. Bay coach Todd Bowles said he was non-committal as to when quarterback Tom Brady will return. Brady has not been with the team since August 11th and cited, personal issues, whatever the hell that means. When Bowles announced Brady was stepping away, he said Brady would return for the second preseason game against the Titans. Obviously, that has not happened. The earliest he will return to practice is August 22nd, which is Monday. But Bowles did not give a clear date and said that he was not sure when Brady would return, despite Brady's absence being pre-planned 3 weeks ago prior to camp. We will see.
Hopefully he gets back in time for the regular season.
Yeah.
For the if you're a Buccaneers fan.
Yes, I think Giselle may have something to do with this stuff. We will see, Bull said. We will talk more next week. I'm not really concerned right now. Well, you should be. We are trying to practice against the Titans now and play a game. I said sometime after the Titans There is no exact date, but we will keep in touch and find out more. Yeah, lots of luck with that one. New York Giants quarterback Daniel Jones, or as we say, Danny Dimes, revealed that he had underwent a non-football related procedure on his neck in the offseason. Jones was adamant about the procedure and was not related to the neck injury that sidelined him for the last 6 games of the season last year. He said, I had non-football related procedure on my neck. I saw there was something about it, and it was not related to the previous injury, but it feels great. The query came as a result of an image from earlier this summer that circulated around social media showing what looked to be a 6-inch scar oof, on his upper chest, indicating that he underwent surgery. Jones suffered the injury in week 12, then the Giants placed him on injury reserve and did not play the rest of the season because of what sources said was a disc injury. In the preseason opener against the Patriots, Jones did return for the first time since the injury, completed 6 of 10 passes for 69 yards in that slight victory over the Patriots, or as I call them. In a game that was no contest on Thursday, Alex Bergman homered twice and hit 2 doubles and drove in 6 runs as they beat the living hell out of the White Sox. The Astros tied for the second most runs in team history. The Astros scored 23 runs against the Orioles back in 2019. I don't think I've ever been on a team that scored that many runs, said manager Dusty Baker. The Astros' 25 hits tied a franchise record as Bergman, Kyle Tucker, and Christian as well as hit career highs with 4 each. Chas McCormick had 5 RBIs, and Trey Mancini homered for the division leaders of the AL West. Trey Mancini. All right. See if there's anything else of note here before we get to higher. Oh boy. All right, and those signs point to Joe Flacco for Week 1 of the regular season. Jets coach Robert Saleh says not so fast. Coach Saleh had not ruled out Zach Wilson, who underwent knee surgery Tuesday in Los Angeles. Saleh said, I don't think I have an opinion on that, commenting on whether if he will start Flacco for Week 1 of the regular season versus the Ravens, his first remarks since the procedure. Continuing on here. If Wilson is ready for Week 1, he'll be ready to go. If it's not, then it's Flacco. No secret about that. We will look to see how he feels, moves, and what the doctors tell us. So, like I said before, don't rule out Zachy Boy yet, people. Wilson flew back from Los Angeles a few days ago and was at the facility back on Thursday, already walking and ready to begin his rehab. Wilson suffered a meniscus tear and bone bruise in last Friday's games against the Eagles. Surprisingly enough, they beat the Eagles in that game. Wonders never cease. Yeah. And Notre Dame lost a commitment from its highest-ranked recruit of the 2023 class, defensive end Keon Keeley. Keeley was 24th ranked recruit overall and was committed to the Irish since June 2021. Despite being committed to the Irish, he took a visit to Alabama in July and is looking for a new school. The Crimson Tide are in the hunt to land him. Figures. Keeley also offers from Ohio State and Florida, where he took a visit in March, as well as a few others, where the names, though, were not mentioned. All right. And for the story of the week, as you probably all know by now, Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson was suspended 11 games by the NFL and fined a whopping $5 million after being accused by more than 24 women of sexual misconduct during massage sessions. Sources told ESPN. A settlement between the NFL and the Players Association was reached back on Thursday. Watson will be able to play in Week 13 when the Browns play the Texans. The settlement between both sides head off a strong ruling from former New Jersey Attorney General Peter C. Harvey, whom NFL Commissioner uh, Roger Goodell, as I didn't mention his name, to oversee the NFL's appeal that was handed down by NFL disciplinary officer Sue L. Robinson. Robinson ruled on August 1st that Watson would serve a 6-game suspension, but would not be fined for violating the Code of Conduct policy. That is until the decision that was handed down on Thursday. But it's only a drop in the bucket where he's concerned. I mean, he can afford to lose $5 million. And one more note here. Well, I don't really believe in beginner's luck, but apparently the New York Mets do. As they got it from newcomer Brent Batty at his first home run in his first at bat in the majors. The Mets pulled the victory thanks to Batty's help and ended the Rays' 8-game winning streak back on Thursday and increased the Mets' lead to 4.5 games back then. After being clobbered 18-1 in the first 2 games of that series, they managed to get past the surging Braves. The 12th overall pick in 2019 came to bat for the first time in the second inning with a runner on, and the Mets are up 2-0 on back-to-back home runs. First of Jake Odorizzi. After taking a ball from Batty, connected with a hanging curveball on his very first swing in the majors. I guess you can say that the Mets are feeling a little batty lately. No pun intended, though. I got working the material. Okay, that's enough of my rambling. I'll turn it back over to you.
So, yeah, Texans fans are going to boo Deshaun Watson hard when he returns.
Hell yeah.
I know.
I'm
Yeah,
just
after
wondering.
his 11-game suspension.
I'm just wondering though that if the Browns are not in contention by the time he returns, are they gonna still have a player that they just gotta ditch him the whole season?
Who knows?
Yeah, I mean if they're like out of contention,
Well,
like say it's like week 13 and they're like 5-7 or whatever it is, do you think they'll let him play or just like screw you?
well, Texans fans can still pick the time to just bag on
Oh, they
him,
will.
regardless.
Right.
So, yeah, that's that. That's just it just goes with the territory.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that was episode 13 of True Sports. He's Lewis. I'm Taylor. Make sure to follow my other show, the Michigan Sports Truth Podcast, on Twitter and Instagram for those out there at Michigan_Truth. Like its Facebook page and subscribe to its YouTube channel. We'll be back next weekend. Ta-ta, hit him with a hind.
Good night, everybody.